Yeah, we actually found a supply chain success story here in the town of Burlington, where one small company says their key to keeping busy and keeping their products on the shelf is simply by keeping it local.
Hey, what you want?
At the Sexpaha General Store, what customers want is just inside the front door. Lots more of these 5-star t-shirts to sell.
Thanks so much.
For buyers, all colors and sizes, and for the store, no supply chain surprises, because their t-shirts aren't shipped in from across the ocean or even trucked in from across the country. These are homegrown and home sewn from a t-shirt supplier that's locally owned.
It's here. We just, put it in order and wait for it to get made, and then we get boxes and boxes in, and then that way we've got it and customers can have it. So we've got all these awesome, beautiful, vibrant colors, and the shirts don't really fade at all. I mean, they are a hot commodity because you can actually wear something local made.
Well, about 2 hours ago, these were white t-shirts. We developed a process about...
We're talking with Eric Henry,
where we print in garment dye.
In his t-shirt dyeing and drying room on the bottom floor of an old Burlington hosiery, where Henry's company, TS Designs, is as local as it gets.
Now, all these are made in the Carolinas, but our business is 100% focused on domestic apparel manufacturing. Our cotton farmer, the most important person in our supply chain. We actually buy cotton directly from a farmer in Stanley County, North Carolina.
Where is the cotton gin?
That same county, Stanley County. From the gin, it goes down to South Carolina to be spun into yarn. Then it goes to Lumberton to be knit, Gaffney, South Carolina to be finished. Then it comes back and we do a couple of cut and sew operations in North Carolina. We make a shirt, dirt to shirt, in less than 600 miles, where a typical t-shirt is 15,000 miles. And I have to worry about a ship that's stuck outside of LA, wondering when it's going to get in.
In fact, Eric Henry's dirt to shirt supply chain is also sort of his claim to fame.
So take a moment now to check that label inside the collar of your cotton shirt. The chances are it doesn't say made in the USA, even though
getting national attention here on PBS a few years ago. After a story we did on Henry's one-man fight against lost jobs and cheap imports.
When NAFTA hit, they basically said textiles in this country are dead. You either go overseas or you go out of business. We grow cotton here, we can make apparel here.
Time was when cotton was king of the coastal plain, but it was hard on the land and the people.
You were talking about supply chain before supply chain was cool. I mean, now suddenly...
I can say we probably have 2 to 3 times as many new customers somewhere in the pipeline.
These are some of the same customers who used to say no to you.
Yes.
Now they're saying maybe.
Yeah.
Or yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a shot.
Henry still reminds those new customers that his more expensive local t-shirts are also better made. And besides, what good is buying a cheaper product overseas if you can't get that product over here?
Those t-shirts that were supposed to be in the summertime are going to come here in the wintertime, and nobody's going to sell those things. What COVID allowed us to do, there wasn't any place for them to go. So literally they stay at the table and says, how do we make this work? When you want it, when you need it.
That's why these big dyeing tubs sit outside Henry's t-shirt factory now, waiting to be installed so they can process more orders and bigger orders even faster.
Our typical turnaround time is, we normally say 2 to 3 weeks.
And how do you make a local t-shirt even more local?
So what we have in here is black walnut dye that we made from locally foraged black walnuts.
Yep, TS Designs is experimenting with homegrown plants to produce homegrown natural dyes for their homegrown garments.
So it makes a really beautiful brown color, a nice warm, nutty brown.
Meanwhile, back at the Sexpaha General Store, homegrown is what customers have always wanted. Supply chain or no supply chain.
you know, it's local made, and that's kind of what we've promoted here, you know, for years and years. And it's comfortable. It's a comfortable shirt, and it, you know, promotes us little community, Saxball.
Eric Henry adds his customers tell him that paying more is okay as long as they're getting what they pay for. And with all these supply chain shortages, well, it's a lot better than getting nothing at all.
We hope you enjoyed the story. If you don't want to miss any more great stories about the Charlotte region, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.